Charles Oliveira just said he believes his resume is better than both Khabib Nurmagomedov's and Islam Makhachev's when you stack up the names, wins, records, and the challenges he's faced throughout his career. Oliveira pointed out that Khabib retired undefeated and Islam is currently making history as a two-division champ, but Charles argued that when you look at the full picture, the quality of opponents, the adversity he's overcome, and his own longevity in the lightweight division, his body of work stands above both. At the same time, his opponent Max Holloway is eyeing a potential clash with Islam Makhachev to test himself against the current pound-for-pound king. Max said, when asked who he'd want to face to prove his skills, he mentioned missing the chance to fight Khabib, so Islam is the next big thing and that matchup would be fun. This comes as Max continues his run as one of the most respected fighters in the sport, now gearing up for a BMF showdown against Charles Oliveira to determine the next deserving challenger for the undisputed belt.
I also saw you throw out Islam's name since, you're not going to get the fight with Khabib. If that were to happen, would that have to be a lightweight though?
No. I'd be whatever way they want to go.
Okay.
Whatever way they want to go, brother. I want. The question was, they just asked me who you want to test yourself and test your skills against, and I mean, we missed the shot with Khabib, so Islam the next best thing, so that'd be fun, I think.
I like it.
Israel Adesanya just fired back at the UFC's pay structure, calling out Dana White and Zuffa Boxing for handing Conor Benn $15 million for a single boxing bout while UFC fighters continue to fight for far less. In a recent interview, Izzy acknowledged that top boxers are elite at their craft, but insisted UFC fighters are the best in the world at mixed martial arts. He drew a clear line between ultimate fighting in the UFC and the limited fighting of boxing, then highlighted the massive gap in fighter pay despite the UFC's record revenue under the new Paramount deal. The context makes his frustration even sharper. Conor Benn's $15 million purse is part of Zuffa's push to grow their boxing arm, backed by TKO's resources. Meanwhile, top UFC stars like Adesanya, who has headlined massive pay-per-views and carried the middleweight division for years, have publicly complained that even their biggest paydays rarely approach that level, especially after bonuses and pay-per-view points are factored in. This isn't the first time Izzy has spoken out on fighter pay. He's been vocal about the UFC's revenue sharing and how fighters deserve more of the pie, especially as the company hits new financial highs.
You've proved it to them. So now, again, Zuffa is the next challenge. Zuffa Boxing is the next challenge that he set his eyes on. But with that being said, don't forget he started in boxing, of course, but what brought you to the game? This is what got him to be the name Dana White, the UFC president, is this. So I can see why the other fighters, I'm trying to think, how do I feel? Do I feel jaded by it? But I understand, we know these guys are top class boxers. They're the best in the world at what they do, but so are we. This is the UFC. And if one guy can command that kind of money for one fight, and that's from the same company, Zuffa, and this is what's been keeping the lights on, is the UFC. We love ultimate fighting, not limited fighting. I don't feel jaded, but I'm like, I want 15 million for one fight too.
Oh, I mean, if you guys are taking kicks to the head and
not even, just saying,
30 billion.
The bonus has gone up, but that's not guaranteed.
No, that's a drop in the ocean.
Exactly, but that's not even guaranteed.
Michael Bisping just leaked half of the UFC White House card during a recent podcast appearance with Paul Felder. While discussing the historic event, Bisping revealed 3 massive fights that he claims are planned for the card, and said the event will be so big that the only thing that could possibly top it would be if the UFC ever held an event on the moon or somewhere in outer space. According to Bisping, the lineup includes Jon Jones versus Alex Pereira, Ilia Topuria versus Islam Makhachev, and Khamzat Chimaev versus Sean Strickland. If accurate, it would easily be one of the most stacked fight cards in UFC history. The comments come just hours after Dana White said the White House event had already been finalized and would be revealed sometime this week. And as it turns out, the reveal may have already happened, just not from the UFC directly, but from Michael Bisping himself during that podcast conversation. Alright, let's dive into what Bisping had to say.
I mean, now I'll say it now. The 6 fights at the White House, and I'm sorry to bring it up again, but it is a big thing. It's never going to be topped. Khamzat versus Strickland, that's going to be one of them. Jones versus Pereira, that's going to be one of them. Ilia versus Islam, that'll be one of them. Is that ever going to be topped? Can they top that?
I think that's
UFC on the moon.
I think, unless you're going into outer space.
What about Alexander Usyk fighting Rico Verhoeven in front of the pyramids of Giza?
That's insane too. That's up there.
Ian Machado, Garry, just accused Islam Makhachev of delaying their potential welterweight title fight, claiming the champ is asking for even more preparation time beyond what was originally discussed. Garry said he was always respectful of Ramadan and agreed to a timeline in April or May, but now Islam wants to push it further. He positioned himself as ready and waiting, questioning how the pound-for-pound #1 could need extra time, implying it's stalling from the champion's side. This comes after Garry's recent trip to Georgia for wrestling camp, which many saw as clear prep for Islam, though Makhachev's manager has denied any official negotiations and hinted at bigger plans. No official date or announcement has come from the UFC yet. With Shavkat Rakhmonov sidelined and Ian Garry ranked 2 after wins over Belal Muhammad and Carlos Prates, he remains one of the names being pushed as a possible challenger for Makhachev's first welterweight defense in 2026. At the same time, the division is buzzing with discussion around Michael Morales and Kamaru Usman as well. And right now, there is no clear frontrunner for who will actually get the shot. Let's hear what Ian Garry had to say.
What's going on with the Islam fight?
He needs more time. And his agent's talking out his arse.
Why is that?
Because Ali's full of shit. Little rat.
Why does Islam need more time?
I don't know. No, I believe Islam's ready to fight. I believe Islam's the very best this world has to offer as a fighter. But don't call yourself the pound-for-pound greatest on the planet and try push for more time. That's all. Anyone, anywhere, anytime. That's the baddest man on the planet, and the guy who lives by that mantra is me.
Carlos Prates just claimed Conor McGregor turned down a fight offer against him, accusing the Irish superstar of chickening out because Prates would be a tough matchup. In a recent interview, Carlos said he heard his name was presented as a potential opponent, but the Irishman declined. He added that if he were in McGregor's shoes, coming off such a long layoff, he wouldn't take the fight either, admitting it would be a bad stylistic matchup for Conor against a hot, aggressive finisher like himself. This adds another layer to Conor's stalled return. He has been linked to multiple opponents for 2026, including the White House card rumors and International Fight Week in July, but no fight is official yet. Prates, ranked in the welterweight top 5, sees himself as a dangerous name the UFC could have thrown at Conor to test his comeback, and the rejection fuels the narrative that McGregor is avoiding high-risk opponents while inactive. Prates' confidence is sky high. He's positioning himself as the guy nobody wants right now. Let's roll the clip of Prates explaining the offer, why he thinks Conor backed out, and his take on the matchup.
Cara, pra mim não chegou nada do UFC, tá ligado? Acredito que eles tenham me oferecido sim pro McGregor.
Eu passei até a informação que eu falei com uma pessoa bem informada que trabalha com você, que me disse isso também, que eles chegaram a escutar que ofereceram o seu nome ao McGregor, mas que oficialmente o UFC não ofereceu nada pra vocês. Então é isso também, né? Você ficou sabendo que pelo menos pro lado de lá seu nome rolou, né?
Sim, aí ele deu uma peidada, correu.
Dá pra dizer que o Conor correu por quê, Carlão? Por que você acha que ele correu?
Ah, porque eu sou embaçado, né, mano? Pô, o cara 5 anos parado aí e tal. Não é dessa categoria, embora as últimas lutas dele tenha feito no 7-7, mas não é um cara naturalmente do 7-7. Pô, eu venho aí no hype, nocauteando todo mundo. Então, eu acredito que se eu tivesse no lugar dele, eu também não aceitaria nem fodendo, mano. Acho que ele quer pegar, sei lá, mano... Ele deve pegar aí um ex-campeão.
That's it from MMA Psycho. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for daily MMA news.